Um,
What are
Here,
decoders and encoders? Uh, oh, that. Why is there so many?
because
Okay.
I did teach this class before.
Oh, you did? That's cool.
Yes. We also have slideshows if you want them.
Nah, I'm fine with it. Without it. Is this the world-renowned Sikwar? The good old that nerd Sikwar. Is it? I don't remember this one. It's card Sikwar. This is a card Sikwar. Yeah. Uh, I I don't even know these. Oh, um. Yeah. Okay.
Why is it showing you are on Mindwave voice chat also?
That's probably my phone as I fall
Uh,
asleep.
Yeah, you can reuse my slides if you want to. Put up a screen here. Click the right side to advance.
Oh. So everyone is here that they wanna be here, or
um, what do you mean?
is there anyone that I'm waiting for? Maybe
No.
can Ben be here? But like the
You can start.
oh, I can. Okay. Um, dynamic sorting. I've never heard it called that way. Um, well, what the hell is variable sorting? That's like the first question that we must ask because I mean, variable sorting is the one of the key essential parts of an encoded main storage, or at least some encoded projects. So even some non encoded main storages, or I mean stuff uses these like concrete factory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a concrete factory that also has some var sorting if you can count that, but it's a very simple type of var sorting, if that makes sense. Um, so I just click this. Oh, okay. Um, I mean, I yeah, obviously the first like prototype of like any sort of variable sorting, like really old, really bad, was like just Pala's variable loaders. I mean, the only thing that they had variable was just the filter. right? Like the only thing that they did that you can consider variable was the filter. It was literally just a timing circuit put on a filter that after the timer runs out, like the little fader, boom, done. You just reset the whole filter array. There's still existing designs for these. I mean, there are applications, but it's very rare that you will ever see these at this point, because it's just not as useful as they used to be. Because mix loaders are now like the sort of like crown kings of me of this idea. Very rarely will you ever use these at this point. So I mean, I don't know. Oh, okay. All right. So in 2018, I didn't actually know that. Paula introduced the splitter. So yeah. So these actually just straight up go for the box. So honestly, war sorting kind of became, instead of just normal item dumping into streams, into a lot more controlled sort of method of sorting where you simply go with the box and either just do things with that box, right? That's what war sorting kind of became lately. Um, and yeah, that's honestly it. People have realized that sorting stuff with boxes is a lot more efficient, a lot more smarter than just having them in not boxes. And because handling a box is a lot easier than handling like 27 items, right? Like, and like loading that back up or something. It's pretty darn bad. And the idea was behind a splitter, like basically we can have a var filter and a box loader on the bottom, and then we're gonna have the box at the top. We just put our box input, and then we can also basically that var filter is gonna separate these item types into different things. Now, why do you want that? Why do you want this kind of thing? Well, first of all, for encoded systems, you probably don't want to have first item type on loader in literally every single processing. That would be so annoying. Like having a fit merger, fit unloader, chest haul, and there probably could be a lot of edge cases that I'm not thinking right now. But you probably don't want to have those. So yeah, you want to be able to handle those, and not have to fuck around with it. And that's exactly why splitters and var loaders even exist. Because you basically need this to prevent having a fit unloader quite literally everywhere. So that's the whole point of existence, is to make encoded genuinely just 10 times easier and better. But yeah, splitter is in and of itself is simply just for you to be able to make these into different items, but in like the same box. Like there's no different items in the same box. That's basically the whole premise of a splitter. I mean, it's literally in the name, splitter, right? Like I don't have to I don't have to explain why it's called that. And yeah, I mean, in my definition of a splitter, it's just a water filter with a box loader on top, with maybe an unstackable separation. You don't technically need the unstackable separation. You do be able, you need to be able to at least handle it somehow in your system, though, regardless if it's global or local. Yeah, that's basically it. Okay. The theory. All right, I don't even understand what this is. Um, but yeah, I mean that's it. I think I can go to a demonstration of what a splitter now is and war filter. if that's fine. Because yeah, I don't math.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead. You can do your demonstration.
Okay, so
Feel free
let's take a
to
look at.
feel free to paste whatever. We have Starbucks.
Okay, okay. I mean, I don't know if I need to paste right now, but yeah. So yeah, this is Paula's, the good old redstone block wiring. Uh, Pretty down OG stuff. I mean, if you just take a look at this is literally just a fader and some goofy 112 wiring with a really long observer line. But yeah, back in the day, this is how everything looked. So yeah, just take an appreciation of moment to know that this is no longer how encoded wiring looked. But yeah, this was the first var sorting, I'm pretty sure, out there, that was just, in theory, just var sorting, nothing else. Then over here, this is another version, but kind of does similar things. It's literally just, I mean, this is literally just the war filter stuff, like the war loader, but it assigns stuff, deassigns stuff globally instead of locally, where you have the fader at here. Like this over here was the fader built into slice, and then this is just doing the same thing but globally. Over here is I think, yeah, this is Andrew's. It's also literally the same thing. Just wired a little nicer. And then over here's the OG Paula splitter. This thing is so old and so janky, but yeah. So the way it worked is that, you had water streaming searching for the box. I don't think it works. Does it even work in one in like newer versions? Like it's one for 112, obviously. I don't actually know that. Oh, it does. That's so cool. Oh my god, Polytech is literally goated. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, so it's literally, yeah, I mean, it locks the input, very important. It locks the input for new incoming boxes. So you definitely don't want to have multiple boxes in the same slice, since you want to make sure that you only have one, the minimum per slice. Obviously, that's to maximize the absolute amount that you are splitting at a time. You don't just want to have slices be clustering up your input. And then yeah, so as I mentioned, this just has an unstackable separation built in. And here's the var filter. Now, var filters are very interesting. In the case of war filtering, has come a long way since just simple filters and hoppers and yada yada yada. Like basically now you can make war filters in a lot of different ways. Pretty sure this one is the CUD one by, or is it this one? Where's the CUD based one? Or is that not here? Oh no, it definitely is here. Is this not it? Wait, no, it's not. Okay, I don't know where it is. Wait, no, it is. Okay, this is it is. Okay, the original cut. Yeah. So there is a couple ways to make war filters, which by the hopper. So this is not just like for example carts. You can also make war filters, but there's a very common three types, I would say, that is like the most common between every single contraption. So but all of them are very useful. Um, like I'm just gonna build it down here. So there's one That's with normal filter items. The way you basically make a filter is that you're gonna take out two items, and when the filter is set, you are, you're just gonna unload the filter, and then whenever the filter is done, you will simply take out the last item as well. So you're gonna set a filter and then deset it. It's basically the same principle for all of them. Like var filters all have their own like completely the same purpose. The simple purpose is that you want to be able to filter variably. Done. But there is some smarter ways of going around it. So there's also the CUD filter, which is comparator update detector. So comparators are able to detect when items go through or inventory changes and stuff like that. So like this is a common CUD. Yeah, this is gonna be SS2. So this is a very common CUD. Like basically, the idea was to use a CUD whenever it detects that an inventory is doing something, simply have that be the var filter that will be setting the filter. That makes sense? Because this is completely filterless. And whenever we detect that this CUD filter isn't doing anything else, we're simply going to unset the filter. So the first time this is going to pulse, you simply want to, like let's say I have a box here sitting, and the first time this pulses, you're just going to set the filter. And then when it deassigns, that means that it can no longer take out an item of that same item type. You're simply gonna lock out the CUD for a brief moment, and then also unload the last item, and so you will set the next filter. And obviously, this is really good because this is completely filter item loads. Okay, I just completely messed up. Obviously, I mean, I'd have to actually make a genuine CUD thingy, but yeah. So this is how a CUD filter would look. Like you have only one slot, and that will take out the items for you. Yeah, you just want to be able to manage this so that this will make a filter, and then on the assignment, it's going to take out that filter. That's the whole premise of this. There's nothing else. Obviously, the only bad thing about cut filters is that it's also yeah, it's a clocking pistons. Clocking pistons are pretty darn laggy since they are essentially tile entities which are unloading and loading and like back and forth. It's like loading in a bunch of hoppers. Like imagine loading a bunch of hoppers and then instantly like unloading them. Like it's just really laggy. Um, because essentially B36 is making a tile entity, and yeah, you're making them, which is not very ideal for lag efficiency, and also it's very fragile. So if you update the CUD, then you have to set up the filter again, which is not that big of a deal, but it's just really annoying. It really sucks. So yeah. And as you can see, this is I'm pretty sure Dat Nerds, if I recall correctly.
That's
This is Dat
correct.
Nerds. Yep. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And so this also has a unstackable separation over here. So it separates out the unstackable into here. It separates out, obviously the output goes into this box. And this box is going to be the one that gets loaded. So you see how like universal design kind of goes with splitters. Like you have slices that will get assigned, and you have a box loader on the bottom. You have maybe unstackable separation. Again, it's not needed. But That's just basically it. You have an equal distribution so that each slice can get its own distribution. It's very important, and maybe some communication to the front end so that it can provide the system with ample of whatever the hell it needs. And then here's my merger. I mean, splitter, which uses another type of war filtering. Now, a lot of people call this dueling hoppers. I do not call it that. It's just the cringe way of calling it. Call it the kissing hoppers. Make it zesty. So yeah, that is exactly what this is. So now, how the hell does this work? Since I've seen a lot of people be confused about this one, and it's actually very interesting. So the basis of it is something like this. This is actually it's not actually that bad to understand, but you will have to give me a second to like genuinely set this up because it is actually not also that simple. So this is the basics of how it looks. Something like this.
In the meantime, does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, that's actually a good call. Actually, I'm just gonna build the exact same thing that I had. All right.
Yeah, if you have
Have it.
questions, then feel free to like interrupt and speak up.
Mhm.
Because yeah, the more questions there are, the more learning that happens.
Yeah, that's true. I'll also talk about the front end a little bit. It's just that it's very important to understand the basics of at least war filtering to even start to understand what splitters even really are. Without that, it's difficult. And then I'm just also gonna copy the clock since it's also pretty darn small. Yep, that's exactly how I did it. Okay, cool. Kind of hard to build without oil litter and stuff like that. Yep. So I'm pretty sure this was made like the war filter itself, like this type. Pretty sure it was made by either Crane or Optic. Not sure. Someone will have to like knowledge check me on that. But yeah, this is the pretty sure I built it right. Yep. Okay, so this is the kissing hoppers. Because they're facing into each other, so like that. Um they're just facing into another. That's the basis of it. You have two types of hoppers here that we're gonna be calling different names. So this one is what you're gonna be basically putting the box on top. This is what you're gonna be. Yeah. So this is what we call filter hopper, since this is the one doing the actual filtering, and then the other one is called the pushing hopper. And they do completely different things because because they just do. That's how this works. So I'm gonna fill this up with a bunch of unstackables, and as you will notice, there's only one like there's only one slot that's free in the whole system. If you look into hoppers, there's only one slot in the whole thing where you can have hoppers. I mean, some items coming through. So if I'm gonna enable this, you will see this little sword. It's a wooden sword. That's actually what the first one was also used with. The first hoppers. Just fun fact. I asked Optic what was the first unstackable ever like put into the system. So yeah, wooden sword. And yeah, now if you put something on top of it, you will see that it will. Actually, I like putting the tick rate really low so you can actually better see it. So everyone, if you can, oh my god, I just broke the hopper. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. Hold on, let me set this up again. Um, there you go. Come on. Put everything back real quick. Yep. Okay. So yeah, so thank you for making a little mix box for me. So you will put this down here. Oh my god, dude. Okay. Maybe don't put it that low. Okay, take rate 5. That's like slow enough. It's just that you kind of want to see it. So look into the hopper, into the filtering hopper. So the filtering hopper is the one doing like above the box. So as you can see, we'll set a filter, and then that filter will stack an item. And as you can see, as it's unloading, so now we can set it to 10 because it's gonna be unloading for a while. I don't know why there's so many items here. So as you can see, it's gonna be stacking up those items. And when it's done, boom, done. It resets it. So how does this actually work? Um, and it's really smart. Timings. That's literally it. There's no like super fancy hopper shenanigans going on or any like subtick mechanics. It's literally just hopper timings. There's technically a cool fancy thing with hoppers, but I don't think it's really fancy, so I'm not gonna really go into that. But yeah, as you can see, it finished sorting. Now let's get into how this works. So basically, the timings are obviously really, really, really tight. Um, this is why I'm using 2 game ticks. So this is the TTP based 2 game tick comparator thingy. I think this is probably the easiest way to get a 2 game tick solid pulse like pulse off. That. But yeah, we don't need the tick rate to be so yeah, this is probably the easiest way to do that. You can also clock the same game tick, so pretty cool. Okay, so let's get into it. So as I said, there's 2 types of hopper. There's the filtering, pushing. Now, uh, basically, they do completely different things. And there's also the filter. So this is the actual filter at the doing hopper setup. This is what the actual filtering happens, and these are just the adjustment timings. These are what makes sure that you're gonna get the actual intended effect, and also this is the exact reason why it even works in the first place. Without all of these components, this filtering will never work. So yeah, so yeah, let's put like random stuff here. So now I just put a bunch of random stuff in, and let's see in tick freeze what happens. So when I unlock this, fix I don't know 8. So this one always depowers first. So this is gonna depower the this hopper right here, the lower one. Gonna depower first for 2 game ticks. But as you can see in the hopper, in the filtering hopper, there's still nothing happening because it just doesn't have an unstackable. So after this gets unlocked, the top hopper, as you can see, it's gonna push out the unstackable and also collect the 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 light blue concrete. Now, after 2 game ticks, this will depower, but as you can see, it can't depower yet because this filter is still on. It still detects that there's right, like it still detects that technically it's not done yet doing the stuff. So it will still not be able to pick up an item. And then next cycle that the kissing hopper happens, it's gonna pick up a second item, for itself and not be able to drop it, because as you can see that by the time that this filter is disengaged, this is already locked back. So it's gonna just simply not be able to drop the atom. And then from now, look at the magic. Boom. And that's it. That's how it works. Now for the D assignment, it works in a very similar way. So if I tick freeze again, let me remove some of these items. Okay, so for this is the assignment. So take step 2. What cycle is around? Okay, so as you can see, the stop hopper is going to unlock 2 game ticks. It can't find any more items, so it's not going to be able to stack longer. And then two game ticks later, it's going to suck out one of the items, but it's still not done, since yeah, there's still one more item, but it's not the same item type as anything else, so it can't stack, it can't suck anything, and neither can it do anything. So in the next cycle that this turns on, it's simply gonna unlock this hopper, and then 2 game ticks later, it's gonna remove the item. But then the pushing hoppers push back the unstackable to prevent anything from fucking up. And that is how the D assignment work. And now if I tick freeze, look at it at motion. So the sets so filter and then it unsets it. Completely fine. And that is exactly how this works. There's not a whole lot more than that to it.
So how does it detect the unstackables?
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It
But
doesn't.
your splitter separate the
Okay.
unstackables from here.
Okay,
right?
so if there's only a single item or an unstackable, like if you look at this choker box, if there's only a
Mhm.
single item or an unstackable, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference between them. Okay, I'm gonna make that not a wooden sword because it's gonna be really confusing. Let me make this like a diamond axe. So it doesn't
Mhm.
actually make a difference between them. It detects it like the same as thing. It's just that whenever it's the same sequence, it's just gonna do the same sequence. Like look at this.
Uh-huh.
Like for 16 game tick, it's gonna be stuck there since it's trying to deassign, like it's trying to assign a second item to it, but it finds okay, it doesn't find a second item, so it won't. And then in the next cycle, it's simply just gonna remove it since there's no second item to remove, and then filter the next cycle. Right? Does that make sense?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, it just
Kind
simply
of.
can't.
Okay. So
By the
it
way,
can't
there
detect.
is.
But
Hmm?
but but how do you separate the unstackables over here then?
Okay, so if I look at my slice,
Mhm.
which took a while to make, by the way. Um, as you can see, immediately after the kissing hoppers, I have an SS2 detection. Well, there's stuff missing from me, so yeah, obviously this won't work this way. But yeah. So this is the SS2 detection. Since this
Mhm.
is the only way to make it, so like if I put a hopper in here, oh what the hell is this? Someone was not. Okay, why is this locked? Yeah, so it's a copper lock right now, but as you can see, it will drop out the item. It should at least.
Ah.
Okay, there you go. It's just
Mhm.
SS2 detection. Um, and the way you prevent so that this unstackable gets picked up too fast is that you do this. You lock this bottom hopper, and yeah, then that's literally it for 4 game ticks, and then you shoot out the unstackables.
Mhm.
Since
Okay.
since droppers take 4 game ticks to quick freeze. So droppers take, okay, there obviously player input footage, so take 1, and then 2, 2, boom, done. So the stepping one tick was necessary because it was like powering in the different phase, like in player input phase. So that's why I had to fix that. So yeah, that is genuinely it. Now you will see some other things in the splitter. For example, the top, as you can see, this is a pretty neat little thingy where this top wiring is doing a lot more than just some little distribution shenanigans. So the usual way of doing distribution is really simple. You just simply power this dropper, but that's not the only thing this does. So this actually breaks into water stream, the output, which is very important because if you want to make it 100% reliable, empty collection, which is in my my opinion, isn't 100% necessary. It is nice to have though, so I just did it.
Yeah.
You will have to do some fuckery with water stream timings and bullshit like that, which you can absolutely. That's what I did. So over here we have the distro. So when you are putting in a box, look at what's gonna happen. So over here, as you can see, I already did everything. But yeah, that was pretty quick. But as you can see, it assigned the slice already pushed over. I have this like lamp display over here, so see that again. I'm gonna push over. So this is the global distro. This is what's gonna be powering the whole dropper line. So this is just using the redstone dust update order to equally like it's a 160 BPS dropper line to be probably as fast as it needs to be. You technically don't need it to be really fast, but it's nice to have pretty much as fast as possible, since you want your distro line to be decently fast. Then there is, as I mentioned, some information lines for the slice to take readouts from. This is very important since you want to be able to communicate to your front end what it has to do. You will probably see these a lot in terms of different machines. You've probably already seen them. Not only my splitter and floppy merger and literally anything that has to do with processing boxes, it will probably have an information line on top of it. So this right here is, first of all, that we have any boxes in the system. So this is really important because this is going to keep the locking from triggering back, and also this will make it so that the global clock will start running. So if you look at the splitter itself, as you can see, there's two positions where this can be. It can, like, even if one slice triggers, the line is gonna be off since it can't propagate through nothing. And then the last line over here on top of this is the is full, basically, like is array full. So this this line right here, if all of the splitter slices are on, it's going to disable the distribution as it's too much. It's going to tell the system. So these are all the only information lines that we used in the splitter. As it's in like splitters, again, they're really freaking simple. You don't need more, but there are some shit that needs more. For example, my good friend J-Roy has like that little goofy chest hole thingy. For example, that needs a bunch of information and stuff that you need to get around. So yeah. So that makes sense, I hope. Um, Now let's look at this. Okay, so there's one more information line I forgot about, which is the slice running out of boxes. So this is very important as it's it's a huge edge case and a lot of splitters that I saw, like very early designs as well. That if you like, meanwhile you're splitting, like let's say there's a box on top of this, and meanwhile you're splitting, you are running out of boxes. And you're like, oh my god, what do we do? So this splitter actually counters that with a pretty simple trick, with just using an information line to quickly disengage it. So the moment this attacks, it's like, hey, we don't have any boxes here. As you can see, this whole thing turns on, which is the direct counter. And also, not only that, but if, for example, it runs out meanwhile it's still splitting, the way we counter that is that we have a little buffer here. This hopper formation, I'm pretty sure, is by optic for just this exact purpose, to counter that exact edge case. And yeah, obviously we have hopper locking because it's just a nicety. It's no longer really needed at this point, but I still do it. It's, I don't know, it's cool. But yeah, this is exactly this. As you can see, I used a little trick here with the observer bug, because observers can't just power on. You have to prime observers to be able to power them on, like comparators on.
Okay.
It's like an observer bug. It's pretty weird.
What is it? Can you show me again?
I mean, this is how I engage the locking.
Ah,
But doesn't propagate through slices because that would break. And I use the comparator bug, but more like the observer bug.
right.
And yeah, this last line here, by the way, this just fills up the boxes. Like in case you don't have any boxes here, then this is what this is for. It's just gonna dispense them. And yeah, and you will see that every splitter has deassigning, either cycle or some way that they deassign. No matter what splitter you need to be able to deassign your slice. So over here, I have that exact thing. Okay, I need to turn on the locking. So this is for me my deassigning. So this is the only thing that you actually need for this type of thing. So most people would just take a falling edge. I assume you guys know what a falling edge is from the slice. Sadly, OB splitter is not here, but it's not really necessary because it's just the wiring is just literally this, pretty much. Like you will have the box and kissing hopper here, and then you take a falling edge from the box, and then you deassign the slice. That's it. That's what most splitters do, which is fair. However, you can't do it because how are you gonna fit a comparator here in the water stream? So you can't do it. So we had to do it with this little thing, which basically just reinforces this falling edge with this piston while it's triggering. Like, we can probably just take a look at it while it's running. So I don't have no clip. But that's okay. So I'm gonna put in like a bunch of boxes. Oh, there's already a bunch of boxes here. Oh my god, that's lovely. So like, if I take a look at this, um, so you deactivate the locking like that. That's gonna turn on. Now see, the VAR filters have already they're doing the thingy. And as you can see, these pistons here, they push down. So to mitigate the issue where they just fuck up. So yeah, this is also very interesting. This little thingy here. So the reason why this thing is so small, because as you can see, it's pretty dense and small, is because I use some pretty cool wiring tricks here to be able to get this small. So usually people, what would do is to have a checklist. So checklists are very important in encoded to make sure that all of your requirements are met. It's basically just a huge AND gate with multiple things on it.
His
And
checklist is more like a request manager.
no, that is not what it does. It's more about just making sure all of our things are done in priority. Like basically, it's like, hey, do we have this? Do we have that? Do we have this? Okay, let's get to do something. That's what a
Okay.
priority list is. It's just to make sure that your operation is running smoothly. So you will see this in like a bunch of encoded shit. Um, Literally every single device like needs this. Um, and yeah, you just take a falling edge from this, by the way, like that. And then that. So when some of your things aren't met, it's not gonna do anything. But when all of them are met, look at this.
Oh, so
That
rising
is a
edge.
checklist.
I'm in falling edge. Yeah, okay.
So as you can see, as I meet the qualities and every single thing on the checklist, but even if one thing on the checklist isn't met, it's not gonna do anything. That's why this is extremely useful, as it will really easily make sure that you have all of your things met, all of your quality stuff. Now over here, I have the same exact thing. It's just that it's really small and dense. Um, so there's a couple things for this to work, but I'm not gonna get into that because that would really take like a huge amount of time. But yeah, this is it's just a lot. But it's basically this whole checklist, like this 4 entry checklist. Like this is actually a 4 entry checklist. It's just that it's this small. Um, because you can apply scale and you can make it really small. But it does the same exact thing. It's just that it's done in a very small manner. Um, so yeah, and then I mean, there's this box loader, which is literally just a falling edge over here, out of the out of this. Like over here, you just take a falling edge from this hopper, and that will literally just break the box. It's by Obi, pretty dope. And yeah, so this type of splitter has been made like mainly by Optic and Crane. And then this is the rewire of the rewire of the rewire of that splitter, basically. It has been a long ass journey to get to this version. Okay, so yeah,
Are
this
there
is
any other
the
improvements that you would like to do?
I know one thing.
on the splitter.
Yes.
Okay, so conceptually or wiring? Is that the question?
It can be either. Like, I know, for example, that this uses global clock logic. What are the
Yeah.
pros and cons of that?
And
Okay,
also it
so
doesn't have
so
empty box.
All right, I've got to head out. Thanks for the class. Farewell.
Bye.
yeah, goodbye. So okay, so one of the biggest improvements over a splitter, for example, your ideal splitter, is that the output is extremely trash. Um, you have a lot of extra handling just to be able to make sure that the output even is as good, nearly as good as ideal splitter. Since, I mean, yeah, the output of ideal splitter is ideal. Like, let's face it, it's just the best way to get like output. Um, and it would be really nice to be able to get some of that effect over here to like have the same box, but that's not a splitter anymore. That's a Sequoia, and Sequoias are vastly different from splitters. Which I'm thinking about making one, either a cart or not cart. But I'm gonna probably make a Sequoia at some point. And but yeah, but also normal Sequoias are a little too slow for the assignment. Probably the only person who knows what I'm talking about is Andrews right now. But yeah, um, so I was thinking about Sick War making, but it's also just not as good as a splitter. Like the simplicity of a splitter is undoubtable, and it's very small and very nice, and it doesn't have those de-assignment timings as like for example a Sigwar does. So yeah, but that's what card Sigwar is for. So which fixes a lot of the issue with Sigwars in general, since it doesn't have a stupid de-assignment timing. Well, it does, but it's not nearly as big since you're dealing with cycles a lot faster. And yeah, and I mean splitters. I mean this. I mean if you are looking for splitters, there's only two types that I would ever recommend. Either this one or Skyzy's really small one, where so there's the splitter version of this where it's literally just this, but without any unstackable sorting or hopper locking or anything. Like if you really want a small splitter in your system, then use that one, since you can deal with the unstackables. Like you just have to deal with the unstackables in the slice and also outside of the slice if you don't have any. So I just really like the splitter because it doesn't require any processing after with unstackable detections and shit like that. It's literally just splitter, boom, pay is done. Which is why I like this method a lot more. And also it's generally faster and nicer most of the times. But yeah, I can definitely understand why people would use a small splitter in their system rather than a big one with an stackable detection. Now, is
Do
there
you
any wiring?
suppose do you suppose that you could perhaps remove the middle hopper here, or is that not possible?
No, because that would buffer an item. Like this would buffer. Like if I would do this, then this would be having items in here, right? Like it would buffer items. You need this exact setup for this to work. Unfortunately, there's probably other ways. Actually, no, there definitely is other ways of VAR filtering, but it's not gonna make the slice smaller. Um, you can technically make the slice smaller with removing the hopper locking, which you can absolutely do. Yeah, that's pretty fair. Like you can have a different hopper formations. Like you don't need this hopper formation. Then you just do like for example this. This you obviously have to edit the VAR filter a little bit, and then do this, and then you can already have kind of make a snake. For example, this is something that you could do as a layout for the next generation of splitters. But is this worth it? I don't know. At this point, I don't think even splitters are really that worth it. However, they are pretty nice if you want to have a very simple but easy and very like decently efficient war sorting. Though at this point, Cardstick War is kind of my goat as a recent. So yeah, I've been really loving Cardstick War, but this is also just a very nice and efficient way of war sorting as well. And also it's the OG way. If you do splitting and merging, you're based. You know the OG ways. You know Pala Pala. You're in tune with your own inner Pala Pala, and you accepted your fate as the next Pala Pala. You literally become Pala Pala if you use splitters. So it's like a different feeling, like it's just cool as fuck. Um, but yeah, so wiring improvements, in terms of wiring improvements, I don't think there is any. Like maybe you can min max maybe like one hopper or something. I mean, one observer, but that's not really a mining improvement. It's just like like I don't want to spend like 4 hours just to like wire on something that's completely useless. So I'm pretty sure that this is like the end basically for these type of splitters, unless you want to like add local clocking. You mentioned local versus global. The nicety about global is that it's really simple and it's super small, and also it's generally just smarter to be honest. Because like local, the only thing that you get is like theoretically you get less lag, but it's like that's not the case since you're having like 4 extra clocks. And actually, no, 7 extra clocks since all slices have a clock. So it's like, that's not really more lag efficient. That's just stupid. Plus, you don't want to run your MS with, I am assuming, 2 boxes. Like, if you do that, then you're a fool. So yeah, that's about splitters. That's all I really have to share. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to hear. Oh, here's a optics old splitter as well. I didn't actually see this. Yeah, so this was one of the first that was like this. Yeah, and this also uses kissing hoppers, if you're wondering. And it's the same idea, by the way. Like from mine to that one, it's just different like wiring techniques and obviously like a lot more dense and smaller. But yeah, but this also uses a local clock, as you can see. Pretty observer spammy. I don't know why that's the case. You can definitely make this a lot nicer. But yeah, this does use that, if you're wondering.
All right, thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions?
We're not grading.
Oh yeah, by the way, WAR filters can be used for a lot more than just splitting and whatnot. They are extremely essential to know. Your all your WAR filters, all your WAR filters. If you want to wire something on your own, or want to do something that's pretty cool, that's extremely essential since WAR filtering is one of the core essential concepts of efficient encoding. I mean, efficient encoded main storages or any sort of projects. By the way, like I'm thinking about like, let's say, dict sort. A really efficient encoded dict sort. Hey, that WAR filters are pretty useful for that. Maybe. But yeah, you definitely want to experiment with your WAR sorting. You definitely want to play around with it. And honestly, my biggest like recommendation to do, or like anything that has like anything to do with anything, is to learn on your own and try making your own things if you can sometimes, and just see what the design philosophy and methods were. Because I assure you, there's a lot of things to learn, and yeah, that's my recommendation.
All right, thank you. We also have like a couple of, this is a cart stickler um, from
Yeah.
Camphor Woods, I believe.
Oh yeah, I've seen this. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not gonna get into the sycamore tobacco, but they operate somewhat decently, like on the same wavelength and like idea as a splitter, but they're very different in its like working order and everything. Like a sycamore, like basically you have a cycle. It's in its name, cyclical variable sorter, and then yeah, in that cycle you will sort different type of items. Only like you will assign one slice for one item, and then all those boxes that you have in probably like the whole group, you will yeah, you will just have them go along and then be sorted at their own slice. And then if there's one that is unsorted, then that's gonna be sorted in the next slice, I mean next cycle. Um, this is like the only issue with a cyclical variable sorter is that there's a deassigning time since as you can see it has one cycle, and after like as it is finishing up the cycle, you may have a lot more boxes, for example, of white stained glass than I don't know stone and the other ones. And so as the other ones finish up, it's still waiting for that one to finish because they all have to be finished to get completely deassigned. So it's gonna yeah, it's gonna be waiting for that one white stain. This is what I think. Let me remember. A lot of Qualcomm, that nerd, Schmo, and I think someone else I don't remember. Were making the multi-threaded Sickware, which is
Hyper-threaded.
oh hyper-threaded. My bad. Uh, sorry, I haven't seen that one in like literally years. But yeah, hyper-threaded Sickware, which is basically just like starting multiple cycles instead of just one. after that one is finished deassigning. So yeah, that's basically the whole idea, to just make it faster, since the deassigning time is so high. That's the exact reason why you don't see a whole lot of Sikwars in today's technology as of right now, besides card Sikwar. But yeah, card Sikwar is becoming the new meta, which is nice. They're extremely nice of a component to work with, and also just they're very ideal for what you want. Um, so yeah, I do like card Sikwars, but yeah. So the nice thing about a card Sikwar, or like any Sikwar, is that the output is also very ideal, since as it like merges and splits basically. Like splitters, you need a merger and a splitter. Sikwar, you need a Sikwar. Doom, done. Like it does everything in literally one component, which is so nice. But also it's very cancerous to also work with sometimes, but it's kind of fine. Um yeah, but for
I
sure for
think
beginners,
I think so far there hasn't been a fully working cart Sigvar that is free of bugs yet. People are working on it, but we're
oh well,
still
I'm not
it
gonna
still
share anything
has
on Mindwave yet, but yeah,
some edge cases.
yeah, I mean it's a very new concept, and I mean not super new concept, but it is like something of a newish sort of concept that is like kind of interesting to think about.
Anyway,
There
guys,
is-
I think I have to go now. It's like 4 a.m. for me.
okay,
Okay,
All
thanks
right.
for the class. Bye bye.
no problem. I hope I helped at least some bit. And yeah, so sorry for being late, but I also have to take my leave. So yeah, I hope I was of some help in this class, or I don't know what it's called.
Oh yeah. Before you go,
Hmm?
do pick what you want, like Steam or
Yeah,
Nitro.
Steam, definitely Steam.
Okay.
But yeah, thanks. See you maybe next time. I don't know. This was pretty fun. I hope people enjoyed it, even though I was late. I'm sorry. I was literally dead tired after having to deal with that for a couple good hours. Like I was working the whole day. So yeah. Um but yeah. Was happy to be here, and bye bye. Oh, okay.
Right.
I'll do that.